Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having me. I have had 3 stalkers in my life, and 2 of them use digital tools as their weapon. Digital violence does not just stay online. It seeps into your routines, your sleep, your travel, your relationships, and even your identity. I know this because it happened to me. The first stalker entered my life through a lie so ordinary that it still unnerves me. He tracked down an old friend and told them that he had lost my number, and they had no reason to distrust him, and in one casual gesture, a stranger gained access to my life. His messages were innocuous enough, the kind that you answer once or twice while trying to place a face. But the moment it was clear he was someone I didn't know, I stopped responding. The silence didn't diffuse him, it inflamed him. For 3 years, thousands of messages poured in between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m., sometimes hundreds within a single night, cycling from adoration to anger. His entitlement swelled as my refusal to engage continued. Then it crossed into something more dangerous. One night, he texted what I had worn that day. He had been close enough to observe me intimately, yet remained a face that I could not identify. There is a specific terror in being watched by someone without a face. It forces you to scan every room, wondering if they are already there. Eventually, his unwanted affection turned into explicit death threats. And each time I went to the police, I heard a version of the same dismissal. Because you don't know his name, because he hasn't approached you physically, and because it's all digital, there is legally nothing we can do. One officer suggested I buy mace and learn how to shoot a gun. Translation, protect yourself. So I did. I learned what streets to avoid. I carried a switchblade when exiting my car and my home. But that small comfort was also a small prison. I have lived like that for years. And even with all of those precautions, I then dealt with a second digital stalker that lived in a different country. He found me through a television show I was on and convinced himself that we were in a relationship. I didn't know he existed until one night I found out he was following me. I'd gone to a play and was told that an unwell man had been asking for me. So that night, I downloaded Twitter and other social media apps that I don't normally keep on my phone, and within minutes, I was staring at a reality I hadn't known was unfolding. Increasingly obsessive posts, sexually explicit images addressed directly to me. I was in that country for a Comic-Con appearance because I was playing a superhero on a television show. And ironically, I had never felt less empowered. Once again, this time in a different country, the authorities told me nothing could be done because he hadn't physically approached me, because he knew me from a TV show. His online messages fell under the umbrella of free speech. I walked in expecting safety, and instead, I was questioned about how I had obtained information about him. When a threat is credible, victim safety must matter more than a stalker's claim to privacy. The solutions that I was offered were all variations of the same demand. Stay with a friend who has a 24-hour doorman. Travel quietly. Make yourself hard to find. Become less visible. Shrink. Disappear. Honestly, I still follow most of that advice. Many women do. Because until the law treats digital predation as harm, we are expected to protect ourselves by becoming invisible, by erasing ourselves. And the most that is offered are restraining orders, and I find that those often fail, especially where obsessions and mental illness are involved. Eventually, using my own resources and investigators, I identified my first stalker. He was a stranger with a documented history of brutal physical violence against women, proving that digital threats, physical violence, stalking, and coercive control are not separate phenomena. Soon after this, I learned this truth again in the most devastating way. My cousin Asmarit, really my sister in all the ways that mattered, the one who had always told me to guard myself, was killed by her fiancé. She was strong and joyful and independent, and if it could happen to her, it could happen to any of us. In my grief, I realized that there is a permission structure that has been created through digital violence that is enabling femicide. These men believe women are an object and their possessions. I'm still not entirely safe. My most recent stalker is not a resolved issue. But I am choosing to speak now for Asmeret, for myself, and for the countless women who don't have the resources that I've had to survive. We need laws that recognize digital stalking and credible online threats as violence. We need platforms held accountable for the ecosystems that they create and profit from. We must all commit to making sure protection is possible before harm becomes irreversible. We deserve laws that protect us while we are still alive to be protected. Thank you.